With 10 games remaining on the regular season schedule, I'm suggesting we bubble wrap the Boston Bruins because injuries are becoming a concern. Going to talk about yesterday's loss to the Washington Capitals and catch you up on where the Bruins stand right now in the Eastern Conference playoff picture on today's episode of Locked On Boston Bruins.
Your Locked On Bruins, your daily podcast on the Boston Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Bruins fans, and welcome back to the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast. I'm your congested host, Ian McLaren, and this is a daily show where we discuss all things Spoke to Be, as well as take a look around the NHL. I want to thank you so much for making Locked On Bruins your first listen every day. The podcast is free and available on all platforms, as well as on YouTube, so please do hit that subscribe button so that each new episode is automatically added to your feeds. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. If you are on Twitter, you can follow the podcast at Locked NHL Bruins. You can find me, my dad jokes, and hockey tweets at Ian C. McLaren. And again, thank you so much for making Locked On Bruins part of your day. It really means a lot. You can tell a little under the weather here this morning. We've had a cold bug going through our house for the past couple weeks or so. Rapid tests have checked out. Just your basic cold, but definitely fighting it here this morning, so please bear with me. The Bruins lost to the Washington Capitals on Sunday after beating the Lightning in Tampa Bay Friday night. It was no fault of goaltender Linus Ullmark's. He continued his stellar play, making 28 saves, but the Bruins ultimately fell to the Capitals by a score of 4-2. The fourth goal coming on an empty netter by Alex Ovechkin with about 0.3 seconds to play. Ullmark's 6-game personal winning streak came to an end, but he made a handful of highlight reel saves, including one off Garnet Hathaway that I personally thought was a goal, to the point of yelling an expletive. Curtis Lazar, he's played with Ullmark for quite some time. He was a teammate of his in Buffalo for several years, and he said he's seen this a lot from Ullmark. He's got confidence back there. He's relishing the challenge of, being in a playoff hunt for the first time in his career. He doesn't have experience playing in these meaningful games down the stretch. And Lazar said to see the way he's battling and competing and keeping the Bruins in games, it's really outstanding. Ullmark was the victim of a pretty unfortunate bounce in the third period. Washington grabbed the lead at 7:18 of the final frame when Lars Eller's shot went off Erik Haula in front and made its way past Ullmark into the Bruins net for the game winner. The Bruins won the face-off on that play, but they didn't manage the puck well. Below the goal line issues they've had all year in terms of puck management and support, they just simply have to defend. Bruce Cassidy thought they defended okay on this play, but it went in off Haula's skate, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Excuse me. Apart from Ullmark's strong play, one area of concern is an apparent injury suffered by Matt Grzelcyk. He left the game in the first period with an upper body injury and did not return. That was obviously a detriment to the Bruins, playing with only 5 defensemen. Missed his puck moving back there. Cassidy said it was a big, big, big factor in the game, an inability to transition very well, and it cost the Bruins in the end. And it also didn't help that, Derek Forbort certainly didn't play his best game as a Boston Bruin. I believe, I don't put too much into plus minus, but he was a -3. And when there's 3 goals scored, not including the empty netter, if you're on the ice for 3 goals against, that's not great. Brandon Carlo was shaken up in the game as well, but he stayed in, seemed to be fine. And they're really going to have to figure out what the defensive pairings are going to look like. Scott McLaughlin, WEEI, wrote about Forbort's miserable afternoon. On the Capitals' first goal, he couldn't clear out the front of the net or block John Carlson's shot. The second goal, Forbort got outmuscled by Tom Wilson. And on the third, Eller easily spun off Forbort to create space and firing off that centering pass that deflected off Eric Haula and in. So he, was on the ice for all 3 goals that were instrumental in this win. And while he has been a big part of the penalty kill all season, supposed to be a mainstay on the third pairing, they can't afford to have him be a liability like that at 5-on-5 heading into the postseason. That just really can't happen. The power play also struggled again. They went 0 for 4 with the man advantage. Finished the road trip 0 for 16. Obviously, that is impacted by David Pastrnak being out of the lineup. But it's something that they're going to have to address in practice as they move to the playoffs. We remember back in 2011, they went the whole first round against Montreal without scoring a power play goal, but certainly not a recipe for success in the postseason. Going to talk about a couple positives from this game, as well as take an updated look at where the Bruins stand in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. But first, a quick word about Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product that I am looking forward to using every day. And what is it? It's called Athletic Greens. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's a lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals. You can support better sleep quality and recovery with Athletic Greens. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D in 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. That's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you so much again for making Locked On Bruins your first listen every day. The podcast is free and available on all platforms as well as on YouTube, so please do smash that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. You can also catch the Locked On Now podcast, which is a free daily recap of the previous night's events with the help of our local experts. I do want to say the fourth line looked pretty good in yesterday's game against the Washington Capitals. The line worked hard and achieved the tying goal in the second period when Nick Foligno took the puck to the crease. Curtis Lazar cleaned it up for his eighth of the season to make it 1-1 at 7:55 of the second. I kind of joked on Twitter that Lazar has been worth Anders Bjork and the pick alone. That was, of course, the deal that brought Taylor Hall to Boston. Obviously, not a second round pick per se, but if you look at Anders Bjork's numbers, only 4 goals, 2 assists for 6 points in 52 games this season. Whereas Lazar, on his own, he's got 8 goals, 7 assists for 15 points. Throw Taylor Hall's production in there, and obviously that was a huge win for the Bruins. Hall now with 16 goals, 38 assists. He's played in all 72 games for the Boston Bruins. Bruce Cassidy said, "We had a fourth line that really bought into funneling pucks, getting pucks back, forcing Washington's forwards. They're a big, heavy group. If you can keep them in their end, they've had success against them in the past. Some other lines didn't want to buy into that tonight, unfortunately." Lazar said he had dinner with his teammates on Saturday night to try to clear their heads, get on the same page down the final stretch. This line really looks like it's cemented as the fourth line. He doesn't focus on goal totals. He focuses on face-offs, being strong defensively, blocking shots, some character stats. But if you can chip in offensively, that's great. He's feeling good about his game, feels strong in his skates, creating turnovers on the forecheck. And they needed a line like that to kind of break through, feel good, get some confidence. And it was a good game for them as a line, and hopefully it can continue. So when it comes to Big Bear of the night in this one, I'm going to definitely look at the fourth line and what they contributed. Lazar, 1 goal, 3 shots, 6 hits, and 1 takeaway. He actually led the Bruins in hits in this one, which is something you really want to see from the fourth line. I thought Nick Foligno had a pretty good game as well. He was showing some extra pep, some energy. He had an assist, 3 hits, no shots on goal in this one, but if they can get even some semblance of the Nick Foligno of old heading into the playoffs, then they should be okay. Last season, he had 7 goals, 13 assists for 20 points in 49 games between the Blue Jackets and the Maple Leafs. His production has gone down steadily over the past few years, but if you can chip in even a goal or two in the playoffs, an assist here and there, but more importantly, leadership, physicality, setting that example, bringing some energy, then the Bruins could be onto something here. But again, that might be asking too much at this point. As a result of the loss to the Capitals yesterday, paired with a Tampa Bay shutout, the Lightning back in third in the Atlantic Division, 1 point ahead of the Bruins. Both teams have 10 games remaining on the schedule. 667 point percentage for Tampa. They have a plus 35 goal differential. The Bruins are 660 point percentage, a plus 32 goal differential. So pretty similar there. The Bruins are 5 points up on Washington for the first wild card spot, which would bump them over to the Metro bracket. They would currently be slated to play the Carolina Hurricanes in the opening round of the postseason. And I, for one, wouldn't hate being on the Metro side of things. Having said that, the Hurricanes have owned the Bruins pretty hard this season. And however you slice it, like I've been saying, it's going to be a very difficult road for the Bruins in the playoffs, no matter who you face. Having said that, you look going back to January 1st, the Bruins still third overall with a 707 point percentage. Carolina is seventh with a 663 point percentage. But avoiding Toronto would probably be a good thing for the Bruins heading into the playoffs. So that's where the Bruins stand at the moment. They are back in action tomorrow night, back on home ice to take on the St. Louis Blues. Then they play Thursday against the Senators. Saturday afternoon against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So a couple games against playoff teams there. I think the Blues are in a playoff spot. Let me double check that. Penguins certainly in a playoff spot. Where are the Blues right now? Yeah, Blues third in the Central Division at the moment. So that's what's on tap for the Bruins this week. If you want to put some money on these games, betonline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including the NBA playoffs, which begin next weekend, baseball, which has gotten underway over the last few days. BetOnline is your continued source for all sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action at BetOnline, where the game starts. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar on the market. Low calorie, high protein, candy bar replacements. They're simply better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. If you go to Build.com and look at the product information, you'll be blown away by the high protein, low calorie, high fiber, low carbs, no sugar specifications. They have delicious flavors like mint brownie, coconut almond, white chocolate, cookies, and cream. They're all delicious. New flavors are coming all the time. If you think a flavor might be good, they'll make it. It'll be delicious and good for you. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste first. They make it delicious, then figure out how to make it healthy. Don't know how they do it, but they pull it off every time. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. A bit of news to pass along when it comes to the Boston Bruins, and that is the signing of Oskar Steen to a contract extension. The winger was signed to a 2-year, one-way contract by the Bruins that will kick in next season. The one-way is significant because the restricted free agent would have to go through waivers to be sent down to the Providence Bruins, meaning the likelihood is he'll begin with Boston next season and be a mainstay on the NHL roster. Again, it's a 2-year, one-way deal through 2024 with an annual cap hit of $800,000. He appeared in 19 games for the Bruins this season, 2 goals, 4 assists. In 41 games for Providence, he has 15 goals, 16 assists. He was originally selected by the Bruins in the 6th round, 165th overall back at the 2016 NHL entry draft. Now, this is the deal that Zach Senyshyn was looking for from the Boston Bruins. Some assurance that he would be on the NHL roster. One-way deal. The Bruins didn't want to give that to him. And then he made the trade request, and he's now a member of the Belleville Senators, having yet to make his debut with the Ottawa Senators. So Steen, we know what he's capable of at the NHL level. Got a great shot, can put the puck in the net, a good, bottom six winger, and the Bruins keeping him around, adding some depth, and hopefully he can take that next step next season. The Bruins also made the signing of Georgi Merkulov official as well. I think I talked about this last week, but Merkulov signing with the Boston Bruins, a 3-year entry-level deal that will begin next season, an AAV of $925,000. He's joining the Bruins on an ATO for the rest of this season, and he recently finished his freshman year at Ohio State, where he scored 20 goals, 34 points in 36 games, which is very impressive. He spent 2 years in the USHL as a Russian-born player, and he was often the best player on the ice for the Buckeyes, easily led the team in goals and assists, and points. A very good signing for the Boston Bruins as well, and a teammate of Mason Lohrei, so perhaps that will also be a point of connection next year, maybe helping both of those guys transition. Lohrei with the second most points on the Buckeyes this season, 29, with 4 goals, 25 assists. Ryan Kennedy of the Hockey News said yesterday that he believed John Beecher was close to signing his deal with the Boston Bruins, his entry-level deal after his Michigan season came to an end. So we'll keep you up to date on that as well, if and when that transpires. All right, I need a drink of water, as you can tell. Thank you for joining me today on the Locked On Bruins podcast. Hoping to have a guest tomorrow to help me not speak as much. But I hope you had a great weekend. Kind of laid low a bit, but enjoyed baseball coming back. Enjoyed one of the Bruins games, of course. Finished Season 5 of Better Call Saul. Very prepped for the debut of Season 6, which will be next Monday evening. And it was revealed that Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul will appear, so that's very exciting. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for joining me, friends. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow here on the Locked On Bruins podcast, part of the Locked On Bruins Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day.